I always have a hard time flipping my camera. Hi there. Hi everybody, welcome. Kelly Dunlap here. Thank you for joining. You were probably just on Heather's scope. She's my bestie and we are partners in crime. And I am grateful to have you here. Kelly Dunlap, Purple Status, Unique Presenter. Hi there. Hi Pretty. Hi Heather. Hi there. A bit late. Who's late? No, we're good. We're good. Purple Status, Unique Presenter. I am a retired personal trainer. Just to give you guys a little bit of my background in case you haven't seen any of my scopes. I am 43, I'm married, I have 2 boys, my oldest is autistic. I've been with Unique just over a year. I retired from my 24-year fitness career back in February because of Unique. Super grateful because of that. Heather and I are doing our 30 Days to Success, and we are just sharing how we are with each other every day and what we do, and share our journey. And today I wanted to talk about, are you committing to greatness? And there are 3 things that we're going to cover, but before I get to those 3 things, I want to talk about some good topics. Hi UK! Awesome! How do you say this? Is it Guten Tag or something like that? Awesome. Hi from England. Okay, so please share this scope. If you believe that there's somebody that you could help or could learn from this, please discuss things amongst yourself, converse, follow each other, do all that good stuff. I like to stay laser focused because I am somebody that will get easily distracted if I try to read the comments. So I will look at your questions and comments toward the end. Heather will definitely, oh, yes, of course you did. Chrissy, right? Good to see you, honey. Heather is here to answer any questions, and I'm glad to see you guys here. So, all right, so the first thing I want to talk about is that I think we can all agree that one of the biggest problems with society today, and I have notes over here, so you're going to see me kind of look over here, is that there's this acceptance within society that is of mediocrity. People like to cut corners. They don't want to do more than what is asked of them. Nobody wants to go above and beyond. There's no hustle in their game. They're just kind of doing what they have to get to get by. Kind of like me when I was in high school, and I'm going to describe how I was in high school. I was more worried about socializing and friends and things like that, which was great, but I was extremely unbalanced because I really didn't give 2 craps about my grades. And all I cared about was maintaining my C average to be on the cheerleading squad. And oh my gosh, I wish I could go back and not be that C average student. As a matter of fact, I had some of the worst grades in my entire class. So, it's kind of embarrassing, but it's something that I have learned, and it's a great deal of a lesson for me, because if I really would have paid attention to my grades, I was cutting corners. I was just doing what I had to do to get by. I was not worried about, going above and beyond. I was just cutting corners. I just wanted to try to maintain that cheerleader status. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, look where it got me. The other thing too is, I don't know if you guys have read or listened to, which I listened to the book by Big Al Schroeder. He is the guy who has some great books, but the one book that Heather had recommended that I read, and it really changed my my outlook on being how I lead, and how I can look at my team, because there are 2 different types of people on your team. You have leaders, and those are rare, and then you also have people that are just the ones that just want to cut corners and get by, and that's okay, because we need both. No matter what type of business you're in, whether you're in Unique, you're selling shakes, you're selling wraps, whatever it is, you know that you're going to need both types of those people. In the Unique world, the people that cut the corners and things like that, those would be your circle girls. Does that make sense? Okay. So the one thing that I want to make sure that you guys know is that you should not be comparing. Don't look to the left and to the right. You are on your own journey, and you want to stay focused and moving forward. That is one of the biggest things, is I think that people Al Schroeder calls them professional quitters because what are they doing? They're comparing. They're comparing their story to somebody else's story. They expect too much too soon. They are not looking straight ahead. They are delusional. Just kind of like when people go to lose weight. They think that, oh, I've been eating right for 3 days. I should have lost 3 pounds. I used to hear that all the time. I know that it takes a good solid, 90 days to really, sorry guys, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. It takes a good solid 90 days to really notice some major changes. So anyway, okay, so moving forward, I just wanted to bring up those things. So I have 3 topics that I want to talk to you guys about. The 3 things that are going to help you go that extra mile, go above and beyond, and really take a good look at yourself to see, where do you fall and where do you need to improve, okay? So the first thing is my favorite word is that you have to believe. You have to believe that you are a cut above, meaning that, and I don't want you to compare yourself to somebody else, but that you are a cut above from your former self. For example, myself back in high school. Yeah, I had a great time. I had an awesome time, but now I can say that I'm a cut above from where I was at that point. I had a lot of lessons that I had to go through, but that is something that I can look back and say, man, oh man, you really should have focused more on that. But a cut above, okay? So what you're going to do, we're going to talk about how you dress for success, meaning what I call my uniform. Sometimes I call it my unique uniform. Exceeding expectations, your own expectations, not what somebody else has of you, and striving for excellence personally and both professionally. So those are your 3 things. The first thing, thank you so much, Christina. The first thing that I want to talk about is your uniform. Dressing for success. Now, it's going to look different for every single person, okay? Somebody might feel beautiful in their workout clothes. Somebody might feel beautiful in their stilettos. Somebody might feel beautiful, and I'm talking about every single day. You don't want to just wake up and just lay around in those sweatpants, because what Heather and I call that's your comfort zone. That is the zone where you're feeling comfortable. You're not feeling motivated. It doesn't give you any, I don't care what anybody says, it doesn't give you any extra energy. When you put your face on, like my mom would always tell me, if I was like, Mom, I'm just kind of not feeling it today, she'd say, Kelly Ann, do you have your face on? Okay, Mom, if you're here, hi, Mom. But she would always say that. She would say, put your face on, you're going to feel better. And my mom will talk just like that. Now get your face on, okay? So even my son will say, Mom, where's your mascara? You look tired if you don't have your makeup on. And it's true, because I know that he sees and feels a difference from my energy levels. So, most important thing, when you wake up, you have a plan of action. Get your success uniform on, as I would call it. Like right now, okay, I've got my face on, I got my hair done, I've got my workout clothes on, because right after this, I'm going to do my workout. And it's okay that I'm going to get all sweaty, but I feel energetic. This is my magic hour. This is my preparation to my magic hour, right, Heath? So you want to make sure that you are doing what makes you strive for more and what is going to motivate you. Does that make sense? Like I said, it's going to be something different for everybody. Like Heather says, you're not going to feel inspired. You're not going to feel motivating if you're in your pajamas, okay? Those of us, then I say stilettos because those of us that know Tracy Vlahos, one of her things that she had talked about is when she is in her moment, she likes to have her stilettos on. And it could be 11 o'clock at night if she's working. If she's got those stilettos on, that's what makes her feel energetic, motivated, encouraged to do more. Okay? All right, so dressing what makes you feel beautiful, to be productive. That's what we're looking for, okay? I know me. I feel productive and pretty. And now we're going to move on to exceeding expectations, and that means mainly your own, okay? Because we aren't living somebody else's lives. We're living our own dream. But you do want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself by people that are going to push you to higher expectations of yourself, okay? And I'm going to tell you a little bit of story about our new neighborhood that we live in. okay? And I didn't realize it until like a few weeks after we had moved in and stuff. It has to do with our yard. Okay, so like Heather and I, we were talking about the fact that you can have, let's say you're in art class and everybody has the instruction that they have to draw or paint a bowl of fruit. Everybody is going to have the same object that they have painted, but it's going to look slightly different. So with that said, in our business, for example, those of you that are unique presenters, we all have the videos, the images, and we might come across something that looks appealing, but as far as the video goes, but you want to make it your own. You don't want to mimic. Okay, so again, a slightly different bowl of fruit. You want to make sure that you are making it your own. You just don't want to do what everybody else does. You want to set yourself apart. But most important is have fun. Don't stress out about the things that you're doing in your business. It's not serious business, guys. You know what I mean? It is, but it isn't. If you're not having fun, then what's it all for? So you have to make it fun, and more importantly, make it you. You have to make it you. And that, I think, is where a lot of people get caught up, is where they are trying to be somebody that they're not. So you have to make sure that you're putting your own spin on it. So another thing is, are you improving daily, or are you just a dead fish in the water going with the flow? So for example, I know for myself, I am constantly like, I'll scroll down and look at images and videos from last year, and I will compare, what can I change? Am I talking faster? Am I talking too fast? Am I talking too slow? Am I speaking to only one audience? Is my video too long? How do my images look? What's the lighting like? Should I invest in some lighting? You know, things like that. So you always want to make sure that you are just bettering yourself. Always be better today than you were yesterday. Always, you know, make sure that you are comparing your year-to-date numbers, for example, and that goes for any business. You want to compare, okay, where was I at last December versus this December? Am I in line? Am I way off base? Okay, if you're not, then what are you going to do to change it? Okay, so you always want to make sure that every single day that you have a plan. Always have your to-do list, right? Always have your to-do list, and that you're always checking things off, all right? Okay, now let's see. The other thing that we're going to talk about, this topic here is, I think, one of my favorites, because it's not just, good job, because it's not just about your business. It's just about you leading by example in many aspects of your life. So striving for excellence, both personally and professionally. And one of the biggest things that I think about a lot is, I know this sounds kind of crazy, but when I'm at the grocery store, there's a lot of things that come to mind when I'm there. Do I put my cart away? Or do I put it in between the cars? Or do I walk it up back to the store? You know, depending on where I'm at. When I think about that, if I don't put the cart where it belongs, I feel that I'm cutting corners. So what do? Do you walk the cart back up? Do you put it just in between the cars? Do you put it back, you know, where it belongs? If you are in the store and you see a piece of trash on the floor, do you pick it up or do you walk by it? I pick it up. I pick it up. To me, that is a citizen of excellence. So when I do things like that, it aligns me, right? It aligns me into doing that in other aspects of my life. When I am picking that piece of paper up, or I'm putting the cart away, or when I'm in the grocery store, nothing drives me crazier than when I see a bunch of stuff on the shelves that don't belong there. Well, that was somebody that wasn't committed to excellence themselves or greatness, and they were just putting it on some random shelf because they didn't feel like taking it where it belonged. Does that make sense? I don't want to be that person. I want to be somebody that is aligning myself to greatness, right? So the other thing is I guess what I'm saying is that your habits reflect who you are, and it will affect you. So if today I decided that I wasn't going to put the cart back, if I was going to just put the groceries back on some random shelf, that is going to personally pull me down, and it's going to also affect me in my business, right? Does that make sense? So, you know, things like that, always, it's almost like I have this little voice over here that's kind of like, I don't know, Kelly, you know, because I'm tempted sometimes, you know, if I'm running late and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I don't need this item, or I already have some of these at home. A lot of times I'll just say, oh gosh, if I don't have time, I'll just take it up to the register with me and tell the cashier, you know what, I changed my mind on this. Can you please have somebody put it back? That would be better than just putting it on some random shelf, right? Okay, so your habits reflect your greatness. Are you creating an environment of effectiveness? When you are blocking out your hour or two of your work time, are you surrounded by clutter, or are you surrounded by an environment that's going to create harmony for you to stay focused and run your business effectively? Okay, so that's another thing. You have to create your little area, your little corner. And you know, I'll tell you, there's nothing greater than a good fresh can of paint. If you need to add just a little bit of vibrance to an area, or if you have a room, you know what used to drive me crazy is a room where there's like scratches and things, you know, from the kids and such. Well, get a can of paint and paint away, and I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than a fresh coat of paint. So those are things that you could do. You can put up a pretty picture. Declutter the area. I know for myself personally, like I work a lot in my kitchen area. I've got like a kind of like a little bar. My intention was to have my own office, but I found that the area that the office is going to be, I wasn't going to be around my kids. So therefore that was separating myself, and I didn't want to do that. So I kind of stay in my little kitchen area, and I have, you know, a nice little area there. But if my dishes aren't done, if things are all in disarray, I can't focus. It makes me go crazy, you know. So I make sure that either I stay up later the night before, or I get up a little extra early if I need to get the dishes done, because I know how it's going to make me feel. Like Heather was saying in her scope earlier, I have to prepare and plan so that I know that my next morning will be effective. It will be stress-free, whether that be, like I said, staying up a little bit later to get those dishes done, doing an extra load of laundry, getting my kids' clothes and shoes and socks out ready and prepared, because I know that if I don't, that I'm going to set myself up for a possibility of a not so good morning with my kids, and I don't want to start their day off like that, nor do I want to start my day off like that either. So just a little extra, going above and beyond, taking that extra step. I'm not cutting corners. I'm trying to make sure that I feel as positive and decluttered, and that I have just a great day. There's nothing better than waking up to a clean house, right? I mean, who can agree? Lots of hearts for that, right? Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is, you know, Oprah always says, and I know we've seen that Oprah, are you surrounding yourself by others who are lifting you higher? And I'm going to talk about the yard that I mentioned a few minutes ago. It's kind of funny because when we first moved into this house, not that my husband was like not keeping up with the yard at our other neighborhood, but the people that we were surrounded by in the other neighborhood, I would say there were a lot more of corner cutters, that they would say, well, I'll just cut it tomorrow, so the grass would be a little bit extra, you know. So what did it do? It created an environment for my husband to kind of do the same thing, right? So when you surround yourself by people like that, you're going to find yourself doing the same thing, because they're going to say, it's okay. No problem. But when you are surrounding yourself by people that have higher expectations, that are committed to excellence, people that do not cut corners, well, guess what? It's going to kind of force you to do the same thing. Hence, surrounding yourself with people that are going to make you lift you higher. So, an example, when we first moved in, my husband was used to the corner cutters. in our old neighborhood. So here we are. We're in a new neighborhood surrounded by several people that, you know, they're retired, and they really put, you know, those retired folks, they put a lot of energy into those yards. So it was kind of funny because at first my husband was like, oh my God, he's cutting his grass again. No, I got to get out there and cut ours again. And I'm like, yay. You know, it was basically kind of teaching him a lesson too, that, hey, he was kind of forced in a way to step out of his comfort zone, which is where we don't want to be, people. We want to be outside of that comfort zone, always challenging ourselves. So I was always like the guy across the street. I'm like, yes. I was like, yes, he's out there again. All right. You know? So, you know, think about, I'm sure every one of us has a similar story, but it is like that in every aspect of our life. Okay, there's a lot of things that goes back to creating an environment of effectiveness and not cutting those corners. Okay, so are you taking care of yourself? Okay, things like, I know this sounds kind of crazy, but I know me, if I have my car washed versus dirty, you know, the kids, there'll be crumbs and all that kind of stuff. That stuff drives me crazy. And again, that's an environment that I have to control. So, you know, getting your car washed. Are you doing things that make you feel pretty? Getting your hair done on a regular basis. You know, like when I leave my hair girl, we have my hair appointments set out between every 4 and 6 weeks. So I know, okay, I've got at least 4 hair appointments set out. I see my nail person every 2 weeks. If you need to, in order to get those types of things done for yourself, hire somebody to come help you do the laundry so that you can get out, you know, free up that time for you. You have to know that self-care is not selfish. And it really does, it really, really does make a difference. Or buying a box and doing it yourself. Right. So, you know, you have to make sure, you guys, that you are really focusing on yourself and your own self-love, because that is huge. And it's easy for us it's so easy, especially for us moms. I got to take care of the husband and the kids and the house and the this and that. Those are excuses, okay? You have to take care of yourself. So the bottom line is that wherever you go, there you are. So if you notice on Heather's Facebook page today, Heather, what was that statement that you put on your picture? I loved it. It was perfect, because I was telling her that the main thing that I wanted to talk about was that what you see is what you have created, okay? Your surroundings and yourself, okay? Having a Friday night and 99-cent wet and wild nail polish party, exactly. So the bottom line is if you commit to greatness, you are always doing the right thing by yourself and by others, meaning like the examples at the grocery store. Put that cart back, put the groceries back where they belong. Always treat people with the kindness and, you know, how we present ourselves, and, you know, continue to commit to greatness and to, yes, exactly, even when no one is watching. Absolutely. You know, that's the one thing about most people, but we have to remember that we are not most people, that they will only do well if they feel like they have eyeballs on them, you know? So let me just recap here real quick, guys, is that you have your dress for success, which is your uniform. Get your face on, like my mom always said. Exceed your own expectations, okay? Always looking back and bettering today. Strive for excellence both personally and professionally, and that is picking up the trash when you see it when it's not yours. Exactly. Yep, absolutely. And just always trying to be productive. It's just like about being just a good citizen, right? And all of those good habits are going to carry over into everything in your life. So that's basically all that I have. Do you guys have any questions or anything to add? I hope that was effective information for you. And I think that those are things that we all forget that we just assume that we're doing, and then when we really kind of catch ourselves, you know, there are times when I think a lot of us go to cut corners, and it's not because we want to be, you know, we want to hurt somebody else, but a lot of times it's because of our time. You know, are we effectively scheduling ourselves? Are we, you know, making sure that we are allowing ourselves enough time? Just like, for example, my plan was to work out prior to scoping, but then what my plan was for myself, I would have been sacrificing that workout time because I would have had to get ready and for the scope. So I said, you know what? You are not going to sacrifice your workout. I'm going to work out after so that I can get exactly what I wanted done in that workout. Does that make sense? So sometimes you have to readjust your schedule, but so what? You want to make sure that you are doing right by yourself. So okay, so I think that's it. If you guys don't have any questions or comments or anything, I think we could wrap things up. I really appreciate your joining. Again, I hope that it was effective for you, and I hope that this really had some, had some good insight for yourself. And it's really a lot of times just about taking your self-inventory and where you at. What colors on my eyes? I have the two purple cream shadows on. I can't remember the names. Maybe you know what they are, Heather. It's, gosh, the dark purple and the light purple. Oh, gosh, I can't think of them. Is it Dainty is one of them? And, gosh, I can't remember. Noble! Thank you, Christina. Yes, it's that one. I don't have Majestic just yet. Yes, Dainty and Noble. So I combined those two. I just did a little bit of the Dainty here and then the Noble up here. And then I just kept this just plain. I just used some, what do you call that? I always put the concealer up there underneath my brows. So, all right, guys, thanks again. And then Heather will be continuing this tomorrow. So we have me today, Heather tomorrow. Yep. Wednesday is me again. And then Thursday, Heather, are we going to be scoping on Thursday, being that it's Christmas? That's Christmas Eve, right? So what's the plan? Are we going to do that? Just want to clarify. You are welcome. I'm going to wait and see what Heather says about Thursday because I don't know what everybody's got. You okay, good. Maybe like earlier or something, you know. I'll be at my mother-in-law's all afternoon, but I'll definitely be on. So, all right, guys. Well, again, please also, I forgot to mention, you could go to thefitygal.com and you can subscribe to my bi-weekly emails. And then I'm also going to be creating a Facebook group if you want to be interested in that. You can please message me on Facebook. If you're not friends with me on Facebook, please friend me. I'm just under Kelly Dunlap. And, yeah. Yeah, hi, Lauren. How are you? Good to see you. Aw, awesome. Good, great to see you, my friend. So, okay, guys, thefitygal.com. You can come, you can subscribe there. And, yeah, so I will see you guys on Wednesday. So it was really good to see you. Thank you for joining. And we'll talk to you guys soon.